Hello, everyone. My name is Renee Duncan, and we're going to take a quick look at the best CRM you've never heard of for transaction management. This is the platform I chose to run my own transaction coordination business, and this was after hours and days and weeks of research and testing other platforms. I love this platform because it really is an incredible mix of customization and automation. And the unique thing about it is that it is not specific to real estate. It was really meant for just general sales. But in reality, the transaction coordination process is just one long sales pipeline. So today, I'm going to touch on some stats, and I'm going to talk a little bit about who this CRM is for in terms of real estate specifically, so transaction coordinators and real estate agents. But I'll go more in depth about what kind of business you're running, or maybe your preferences, and who would really be ideal for this platform. And then we're going to dive into the platform itself, and I'll show you some of the automation and workflow features and the results that they get you. So in a study with over 23,000 respondents conducted by my favorite project management platform, Asana, over 45% say they use so many tools that they never know where anything is. And over 59% say they lose too much time over communicating or in meetings. That right there is the problem that I see for people who are not using a CRM. In general, any kind of business owner really, but also those are some things to keep in mind when you are choosing a CRM. That being said, who is SalesMate for? There's no one CRM that fits all, and especially in real estate, which is great because there's no two businesses that are run the same. Every independent transaction coordinator runs their business a little bit differently. Every real estate agent runs their business a little bit differently. So for transaction coordinators, this is my platform of choice because there are, let's think about the options that are out there. You could go as bare bones as a spreadsheet, and that works for a lot of people, and I think that's awesome, and it's free. And if you are not super tech savvy, that might be the easiest route for you. But on the other end of the spectrum, there are platforms out there, two in particular, that are extremely robust and feature rich, and they have deep menus, and they have great options in the way of automation, but they might be way, way over your head in terms of technology. You know, not everybody wants to deal with that. Not everybody cares about that. I love CRMs. I'm comfortable working in most different types of platforms. But the reason I chose SalesMate is because I'm a highly visual person. So I hate looking at spreadsheets, but I also hate looking at some of the most robust TC platforms that are out there, because there's so much to look at. There's so many menus, and you have to go so deep. And if I'm going to invest in something that I know I will need to use every day, I really want it to look pretty, for lack of a better word. And I like for things to look very clean and minimal. So I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit in terms of certain features to have that experience with a platform. So if that's you, if you're an independent transaction coordinator and you're kind of in a similar boat as I am, then this might be a great platform for you. Also, for real estate agents, if you are an agent that is probably solo, or maybe you have like one assistant or something like that, and your business is really referral or sphere based rather than, based on web leads, maybe you're so busy because of your referrals in your sphere that you don't need to actually generate new leads. This could be a great option for you. If you're on a team, or if you're a team lead and you need an IDX website, you need those search functions, you need all of the bells and whistles, then there are other platforms that are going to make way more sense. But if you really just need a place where you can store your contacts, you can manage your transactions easily, you can store your email templates and work easily with them, then this is probably all you need, and it's far more affordable than the alternatives that are out there. Same thing goes for transaction coordination. If you are a TC, this platform is extremely affordable, even compared to the platforms that are out there. And TC platforms tend to run far less expensive than CRMs meant for real estate agents. This platform is for you if you really want just one hub to keep track of your contract to close, your leads, and recruits. I feel like most TCs use a TC specific platform for contract to close, and then they use something separate, maybe like HubSpot or something like that, to actually manage their own leads. If you're prospecting for new agents and trying to get more clients, you're probably using a separate platform. With SalesMate, you can do everything within the platform. Same thing goes for recruiting. You could have a totally separate, you can create a third pipeline specific to recruiting, and you can add all of your drip campaigns, marketing campaigns into SalesMate for all these different purposes. So here we're in the main dashboard that I use for transaction coordination. This has been fully customized already, and it is based on the task batching methods. You may have heard of task batching for transaction coordination versus working by address. David Breckheimer is a great proponent of this, and this is where you really save a lot of time. So SalesMate works beautifully with that method. So to start off, I have my transaction overview. I can control all of the columns in this overview. So if I want to have just a quick glance at what's going on with everything, I can. And then I also have these little widgets that are set up by the day of the week and the tasks that I complete on each day of the week. So for example, on Mondays, I would order signs down for any listings, check on written statements due this week, and check on written statements due next week. Also on Tuesdays and Thursdays is when I check on appraisals that have not yet been satisfied. And then Thursdays, I send email closing reminders. So to really see how powerful this is, what's nice about it is when I log in and I'm on the dashboard, if it's a Monday, I can just go to the task that applies for Monday. So this is just a test transaction in here. This is not real information, but I can either select preview to get just a quick look at the deal record, and I can send emails from within here, or I can click on the address and open up the record in its entirety. So again, this is a test deal, so a lot of things are not going to line up in terms of dates and whatnot, but this gives you an idea of what a full deal record looks like internally, and you can see the email history here. So since I'm taking care of tasks right now, what I would do is I would go to email and insert template. And since I'm checking in on the lender commitment that's due next week, I'm going to select buyer lender commitment. And you see it automatically pulls in the subject line as well as the relevant address and the buyer. It also pulls in the lender's first name and the written statement due date. So just a couple of clicks, and then all that's left to do is add in the parties that I'm sending this to and select send. So you can do this for any of the email templates. I already have a ton in here, so I'm already in buyer representation. So all the email templates I could need. I have separate folders for different things for seller representation, prospecting, things of that nature. Also, if you want to take a look at an opening email, so this is an example of how you can save time with these merge fields. So everything in this email was automatically pulled in from the deal record. Okay, so now let's take a look at the activities tab. I love this tab because you can really customize the view to whatever works best for your business. So here I can see overdue tasks due today or overdue obviously tomorrow or this week. I can also create custom ranges and further filter it right here. The other awesome feature that is somewhat challenging to find is that I can look at my activities in list view or in calendar view. I also have automated workflows set up so that certain dates are automatically added to this calendar. So nothing that's on here has been manually added currently. If I need to manually add something, I can, but it's all automated based on the dates that are set within the deal card. Okay, so let's say for the purpose of this video that it is Thursday, January 14th at 9 a.m. I've recently started my workday as a TC. I've already gone through my emails to see if there's any updates on any of the files and made the appropriate changes. Now, in most cases, if you're a TC and you work by address or you work by file, you're either checking each file for any outstanding tasks, or you just have a gigantic task list that is overwhelming to look at. It's highly inefficient. Or maybe you want to use this method, but the platform that you're using is just not very conducive to it. So in my case, again, none of these tasks are connected to a particular address. They are just set to repeat every single week. And what's happening within SalesMate is I can see this task here, but this task is also connected to the dashboard. So if I go to my dashboard and I look at my Tuesday, Thursday appraisal widget, I have this address showing up here. And any address in a certain stage in the pipeline is going to show up here automatically. I don't need to manually do anything. And the way that I've done this is I've set up an automatic workflow so that if I go to my deals tab over here and I scroll through my virtual whiteboard, you can see here I have this deal in appraisal requested by TC. Now, any deal in any of these stages up until this one, so these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stages, any deal in those stages is automatically going to show up on my Tuesday, Thursday appraisal widget on my dashboard. Because again, we're not done following up on it until the appraisal is at value with no work orders. So the deal is connected to the dashboard, and the dashboard is also connected to activities. But all I need to do is go into my dashboard every morning, and I can quickly deal with all of the top priority tasks and follow-ups. So what I would do, if it's Thursday, January 14th, and it's 9 a.m., all I need to do is go through the list of addresses here, assuming there were multiples, and click through each one, select preview, related, compose email, and I'm working on appraisal, so I'm just gonna do my appraisal update. It's gonna automatically pull in the subject line with the appropriate address and the buyer's name. It's gonna pull in the lender's name, and then again reference the buyer and address in the body. All I need to do is add the appropriate parties and then hit send. And then I have all of these appraisal follow-ups completed. And that's essentially what I would do with any of these, day of the week widgets. But if you wanted to look at your full list of tasks, you could do that in the full agenda on your dashboard. You could do that in activities. You could also just skip tasks entirely. If you're really comfortable with your workflow, what needs to be done next. You could theoretically work completely from your virtual whiteboard. So, for example, this deal card is in file sent to lender title. You would want to then check in with the client, and you just keep moving the deal card until you get to closing, basically. And so the only thing that needs to be automated are the follow-ups, the things that are related to inspection, appraisal, written statement, closing, things like that. You can also make your virtual whiteboard as long as you want. You can have as many tasks or as many phases as you want through and beyond closing. But again, the powerful piece here is setting up your dashboard to work for you each day and each week. Again, it's the automated workflows that allow me to do that and allow me to just click, and then get done with all of these tasks in pretty much record time. As I mentioned, SalesMate is great for managing not only the contract to close pipeline, but your sales pipeline. So if you are prospecting, you're trying to get more clients, and you're trying to keep up with the communications, that's really easy to do within SalesMate. So I would switch from my contract to close pipeline to my sales pipeline. Again, you can customize this and make it as long as you want, edit all of the stages, however you would like to handle it. In my case, I do have a separate business from transaction coordination, so that's where this half-day rate is coming in here. But if I, say this person is in the prospecting phase and I want to invite them to a discovery call, I can click on this deal card, select related, compose email, just like I would for a contract to close deal. Select insert template, go into my prospecting folder and select my invitation to discovery call and hit send. I can also set up automated workflows or sequences. So if you did have, a drip campaign that you wanted to set up for any leads, you could do that within here as well. Again, same thing applies if I wanted to add a recruiting pipeline, I could do that. Now, I will say your deal card is going to look the same, but it really doesn't affect you very much. So even though I'm in the prospecting phase and I don't have a particular property to associate with this person, that's okay. I can just name the deal whatever I want. I could change this label if I wanted to so that it's not specifically subject property. Attach the agent here, and that would also attach all of their contact information and hit save. So again, the deal card would be the same throughout all of your pipelines, but you can tweak and customize it to suit all of your needs. Again, my name is Renee Duncan, and thank you for joining me. If you do have other questions, I just wanted to let you know I do have 8 years of CRM and marketing automation experience, and I've been a licensed realtor since 2017. I'm currently licensed in Minnesota with eXp Realty, although I do not practice. I just maintain my license for the purposes of transaction coordination and keeping up with the industry. Like I said, I do have 2 separate businesses. So in my other one, I specialize in helping solo real estate agents streamline transactions, operations, and marketing through CRM and video automation. I specifically focus on CRMs and setting up webinars and YouTube channels and things of that nature to help solo agents really scale their business. There's a lot out there in the way of resources and help for teams, but I don't feel that there's as much available to solo agents that's accessible. So that's what that business is really focused on. And between the 2 businesses, the solutions I offer are done for you services. So I do set up CRM platforms for agents and transaction coordinators. I do other services for both in terms of if it's related to marketing technology, CRMs, video, anything like that. If it's virtual, I can do that on a half-day rate or day rate basis. For more information on that, you could go to book.reneeduncan.com. I also develop walkthrough videos, so these are made available at a more affordable price than the done for you services. So if you would like, I can always do a very step-by-step walkthrough video. And then obviously, like I said, I offer transaction coordination. So please feel free to get in touch. I am on Facebook and Instagram at Book Renee for a Day or at Unlocked Empire if you're looking specifically for transaction coordination. Also, feel free to reach out on LinkedIn. And you can email me or book a discovery call. You can book a discovery call for anything related to marketing, technology, automation, and we can see if we would be a good fit, or book one for transaction coordination. Again, thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe for more videos, and I hope you guys have a great day.